What's good, everybody? Remember 17 here, and today we're going to be showcasing Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is still a solid pick in lightweight. The weight class should be popping up, as well as middleweight and light heavyweight, so maybe I can get some Paul Craig action too. The perks haven't changed too much in UFC 5, so he has his +5 to the punch speed and accuracy with uppercuts, hooks, and overhands. The +5 to the footwork when he's pressuring forward. The plus, I think, 3 or 4, or maybe even 5 to like the sub defense when he's in top position. And the cardio boost, I think he gets +3 in the rounds 1 and 2, and then it dips off in rounds 3, 4, 5. Of course, we all know that the cardio hasn't been fully adjusted yet for UFC 5, so I'm interested to see how it's going to work after that point, because we know it's pretty forgiving at the moment. But still, his moveset is pretty quality. He has a really good wrestling heavy style, and with the TBS transition system, he has some pretty good movesets there too. So I'm excited to showcase Michael Chandler on UFC 5. So this is Michael Chandler's moveset. He has a level 3 jab, a level 4 straight, level 4 lead hook, level 4 rear hook. You get the picture, right? And the body straight is a level 4 as well. It's one of his preferred setups. It really helps to sell the level change to enter on your takedowns. Is something that I like to use a lot. His kicks are pretty good. Showcase his calf kick pretty well against Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. And of course, that front kick is at a level 5 because he took the soul of Tony Ferguson with it. So spinning back fist, lead spinning back fist at level 1. Nothing too crazy there. Clinch hooks are obviously pretty good. The collar tie clinch at level 3. The wrestling is good. The wrestling is very, very good. Jiu-jitsu, not so much, but the wrestling itself, like the wrestle-jitsu, that's going to be the game plan with Michael Chandler on UFC 5. We're looking to try to use a lot of his high-level moves on the feet and on the ground, stuff like the arm triangle, any type of submission counter, we're going to look for it. Darce chokes, arm triangles at level 3, so we have access to the face pressure, and a rear naked choke is at level 5. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time with Michael Chandler. And level 3 boxing combinations too. So we're going to head over to Ranked Championships and go have some fun. Alrighty, first up, Gamrot. Now Gamrot has a pretty nasty moveset himself. He's coming off of a very, I wouldn't even say, I don't know if I can even really call it a win. Fiziev kind of injured himself. Some say it was the result of a kick. Really, I thought the dude was just too powerful for his own good. And he threw the kick and landed in the wrong position. But, to Mateusz Gamrot's credit, he did land a nice calf kick to the same leg of Fiziev when he was stepping deep on a body cross. And that's not how we want to end up, although I really doubt that Gamrot on UFC 5 has really good kick levels. I know his sub-level stuff, but he definitely needs to change on some of his kicks. And we open up a cut above the left eye of Mateusz Gamrot with these overhands. So, pretty good start to the round. There we go. There's a jab, jab, 1, 2. Sometimes these new hook animations really get to me. Properly made. I still think there needs to be some adjustments with some of the like right there, like some of the sliding with the footwork. Go for the inside trip. Go shoot. Just got denied. Stuff with like a lot of the strikes. I think it's just the stuff in the right direction. But overall, this has been it's been a pretty fun game. You guys have been tuning into a lot of the streams. I've been having fun going to online career mode, getting some fights with Marshall Mind and Zayaf. And what the hell? Where did my counter go? Little stuff like that irks me, but we're gonna make it work. Another overhand counter. That's another thing. The overhand, there we go, has been a much more viable counter in UFC 5 than it has been in UFC 4. Ooh, nice. I brought up the example multiple times to the developers. Fights like Chang Sung Jung versus Renato Moicano. Pretty much any Jeremy Stevens fight where he's throwing overhands over the top of jabs. Even Jose Aldo too. Derek Lewis counters over the top. Basically, the overhand, it should take your head off the center line because it's an arc and strike. And it should have built-in evasive properties. A lot of strikes in this game need to be gifted evasive properties just because of how you're throwing the strike. And when you get this takedown here, the way that you're throwing the strike and the way the evasive property should work from that point on. So things like, I've always felt like the body hook, right? If you're moving to the side with that body hook and you're throwing your head off the center line, you should be able to have some type of built-in evasive property for at least a frame or two against certain shots. I think it would change up the striking a lot more. But we're going to go and try to sink in this arm triangle. Just going to bridge out, try to go to sprawl. We're going to deny that. There we go. Sinking into arm triangle. He took a little bit too much time to try and race that. What I've come to find out with UFC 5 is depending on where your short-term stamina is will depend on when is the best time to successfully race it. Man, I'm really enjoying the 30-minute thing with the 3 weight classes. We just got a nice submission with Paul Craig, and hopefully I'm gonna decide maybe if I get another middleweight fight, I will showcase Paul Craig instead and probably save the Chandler showcase for later. But if I get a third lightweight fight instead of because the time is running low, it is 30 minutes. If I don't get another lightweight fight, if I do get another lightweight fight, then I'll go with Chandler, because this is fight number 2 in lightweight against this Justin Gaethje. And now side control is pretty strong. Even on stream, I try to avoid holding people there for too long because, let's be honest, it gets really stale, like absurdly stale, to hold somebody in side control, bust their head open with elbows. Side control is not a position in real life that somebody should be favoring over a position like a katame, side saddle, knee on belly. Like, there's a reason why in jiu-jitsu, like, the hierarchy works the way it does, why certain positions score more points. You don't want to be, it's hard to hold somebody in side control. And if you're throwing strikes in side, like, watch, bro. Okay. I'm talking about side control, and he just, ooh, good to dial. That's one for the sub counter. It's alright. It's a strong entry. I'll deny that. Let's initiate the struggle a bit. There we go. And he had time to deny that too. Going back to backside. But yeah, side control, if you try to strike in that position, you're giving up a frame that you have that's keeping your opponent down there. When you strike, it's supposed to be significantly easier for your opponent to, bridge, hip escape, just regain their guard. And it's one of my biggest gripes with UFC 3, 4, and 5. And for UFC 5, it's something that needs to go, especially because this game is so much more responsive on 60 FPS in comparison to the last few titles. Really cool. But enough about that. Chandler feels nice. Look at the animation. Chandler feels clean. Like, his footwork is clean. Overhands are clean. Went to throw a body teep. That was not clean. Trying to shoot and wrestle. It's another thing too that needs to get adjusted. But for Michael Chandler, I don't know. He's been, he was on Tough to fight, coaching against Conor McGregor, veterans versus prospects. Michael Chandler ended up kind of having to give Conor some of his own guys, which I found to be hilarious. Took him down to a little single. And I was really impressed by Michael Chandler's coaching. He did a fantastic job coaching. He did the damn thing. You dead ass, bro. Ay. You can't. Even on ranked, this happens. Come on, brother. Alrighty. About 2 minutes left. We got ourselves a lightweight fight. No, not today. Fun fact about that counter trip. That was a happy accident. I was calling for some type of counter from over-under. Oh, what a fumble on my part. That's cool. I'm good off my back. I'm going to try to stand up here. Try to embrace the whole wrestling get-up mentality. No. You're trying to go for the heel hook, ain't you? Get off me. Get the fuck off me. I was talking some analytical stuff and I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I remember now. That's this guy clinches me. Talking about the over-under clinch position. Of course, if you guys see my most recent video, you guys see that there's a difference between the over-under. One guy has the body lock, the other guy does not have the body lock. But if you guys have seen some of my wrestling clips, you guys have seen me. Okay, we're going to go up. You guys have seen me hit inside trips when my opponent is trying to use an underhook against me or trying to force me to an over-under position, or I'll force the position on my opponent. But my point is, you're not hopeless because the person has cinched a body lock on you. And where the changes in the clinch, nice. Where the changes in the clinch need to be made, it's just simply more options. All of the positions in the game are real life positions. That's not the problem. The problem is lacking in options. Ooh. Hey. You tried to race the strong one there, buddy. You would have had better luck if I entered from side control. You went the other way. But it would have just made a lot more sense for them to add some more counter takedowns. In UFC 3, they had that nice little counter. It was a double overs throw. If somebody got double underhooks on you, I think that would be a pretty cool thing to add. But at the very least, that happy accident, people didn't know about that happy accident. Like, I knew about it. A couple people did. Go for the guillotine. Good denial, buddy. Good job. But it was Marshall Mine. I think he was going against, I don't know if I think it was Prox was using RDA maybe. And Marshall was using Justin Gaethje. And I think Pryor was trying to bail to take down Marshall. And Marshall kept nailing him with the, no. Get your hands off me. My terms. Kept nailing him with this counter takedown trip. And everyone was like, yo, that's sick. Oof. Nice. And, I'm all for stuff like that. Especially if fighters have shown their ability to do that. I like to see that, too, against the cage. Some counter throws against the cage. Just stuff that if EA is going to focus on the resources and all that fun stuff, needs to be more towards. I mean, that looks nice. More towards, more options in the clinch. I think that's how it should work. Are you going to quit? If you quit, I'm done. I'm ending this showcase. Okay. Anywho. Michael Chandler. Wanting to fight Conor McGregor. McGregor's back in the USADA pool. Michael Chandler doesn't care if he wants to fight him juice. So I'll fight him at middleweight, welterweight, or lightweight. I honestly think that Michael Chandler should fight him at lightweight. Of course, Conor McGregor tends to call most of the shots for his matchups. But lightweight would serve better for Michael Chandler. He's fought in that weight class. He's had success in that weight class. I mean, he's had success in moments, not in record in the weight class. Of course, we can go, yeah, he's 1-3 in lightweight. But he's lost to Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, and Justin Gaethje. Took out Dan Hooker. And took out Tony Ferguson. So 2-3 in the weight class, right? Tony Ferguson being on a losing streak. I think Dan Hooker, I don't know if Dan Hooker was on rocked him. Don't know if Dan Hooker was on a losing streak. I'd have to double check after this. Ooh, open up a cut. Hey, damn, Chandler's filthy. But I think it would be a really good matchup for him at lightweight. Because, hey, he's been fighting the toughest guys at lightweight. And for McGregor, I mean, if he fights him at welterweight, the UFC is definitely going to try to parlay that into some type of rationale to have him jump somebody to go for a lightweight title shot or something along those lines. But I just feel like lightweight Chandler would have a better chance because McGregor's been up and high in weight for so long. And if there's anything Chandler's really good at, he stays in shape. He tends to be really disciplined. And he has pretty solid ground and pound. That round 2 against Dustin Poirier. Fouls aside, because he did foul the fuck out of my boy. Let's remove the fouls out of the equation, which, if he fouls McGregor, I know they're going to be fouling each other OD if he grapples him. It's just a matchup. I really want to see the matchup. I watched Tough with my girlfriend. We watched the entire series. We were like, fuck you, I want to see them fight. Just didn't end up happening. If y'all watch Tough, let me know. But Michael, at the same time, when a fighter starts to go into the mindset of, I'm here for entertainment, I'm here to put on a show and all that other fun stuff, you start to worry, like, all right, bro, are you going to fight McGregor to actually beat him, or are you going to fight him just because of the paycheck? And if that's the case, I don't want to see him fight him. I want Michael Chandler to go in with the intentions to knock Conor McGregor out. I want you to grapple. I want you, don't play any of these games. Don't try to prove that you're a superior striker playing some long-rangey game that he's really good at. Use your wrestling. As I try to use my wrestling against Charles, and he reverses the position because that's how the game is. But I want to see Michael Chandler use all of his tools, his skill sets, to get the W if he needs to. And honestly, if Conor beats Chandler, and to be fair, McGregor does match up pretty well against. But yeah. Matches up well against Michael Chandler. That happened because he tried to go for the flying triangle. Tried to the left hook. Tried to go for the flying triangle. I denied it, and that's been a. It's gonna be funny as fuck when it happens every time, but it's one of the funny bugs we have right now in UFC 5. You deny a flying triangle, and the game decides to ring you around the rosy. All right, round 2 is done. But yeah, he does match up pretty well against Michael Chandler. You know, Michael Chandler being a shorter wrestler. Lots of times the shorter wrestlers tend to blitz in, and McGregor's really good at calculating distance. The reach of Chandler isn't exactly up there. I think he'd have to use more long-range weapons like kicks, and even that's going to be risky against somebody as dynamic as Conor. But I'd like to see both gentlemen use their MMA skill sets to the best of their ability. As fans of MMA, what more could we really ask for, right? That's nasty left hook. Nasty left hook to sit down Charles. Now, because this is not UFC 4, I have no fear of like the mini game or whatnot, some fluke mini game. I mean, I was good at that mini game too, so I'm not really one to talk. But at the same time, I understood the issue with it, and I'm happy that EA. Here we go. We're not going to overthrow here. Let's go for the elbow. There we go. You know, they listen. People no longer wanted the mini game, and now we have this nice TBS system. Michael Chandler also has what are the sub counters? I think he has the Von Flue counter too, right? So now he's gonna keep attacking this triangle. Now we're gonna try posture. No, he doesn't have the stack guard transition. Came back down. Let's go for the armbar. Oh, that's a Von Flue. We got it. We got the Von Flue counter. Is it gonna be enough? No. That's such the most. That is the most wrestling-esque thing to do to Charles Oliveira. Tries to wrap his hand around our head from full guard. Goes to the Von Flue. Oh, and he's done. He's done. And he's out. I don't like the fact that Herbie's the only ref in the game, though. But yeah, that felt pretty good. Look, the overhand buff on UFC 5, outside of some tracking issues, I really like the way that's working. It's giving shorter fighters like Michael Chandler a chance to intercept with something other than a jab, other than a cross, and that's what I'm hoping. If the game continues to push more strikes in that direction, where we can have different types of strikes as entries, that's going to be ideal, especially with like the wrestlers and the grapplers and everything, because we need more stuff to set up our takedowns. It's become pretty easy to deny takedowns for people on 60 FPS, but hopefully you guys will enjoy this showcase. As always, don't forget to like, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe when you see this video. Bear17, I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful night and take care. More showcases coming on the way.